This is something really interesting and I think is a narrative that is playing along right now that we should either diffuse or approve of. When LeBron James goes up against Ben Simmons, the immediate thing is, oh, Ben Simmons is the next LeBron James because of the physical build. My opinion. Do you disagree?
No, it's true.
Okay.
I see that's why, at least.
Yes, so we view everything in society from how can we relate it to something that we already know and make the comparison to sound smart. However, Brett Brown, along with a few others, excuse me, pregame had this to say. Brett Brown, Philadelphia 76ers head coach. You say compare him, Ben Simmons, to LeBron. Ask me later, in a few years from now. LeBron James was asked about it. Ben is Ben, and I am who I am, and so on and so on. So you guys kind of do that comparison stuff. Here's Ben Simmons on his comparisons to LeBron. He's a Hall of Famer, if not the greatest to ever play the game. I'd be annoyed too if somebody was comparing me to a rookie that was just coming into the league. He's having one of his best seasons so far. You shouldn't compare me to somebody like that. But I like how on the end he puts, not yet. Here were some of your responses.
What he thinks of him.
Where the fuck did my paper go? So I asked all of you, Ben Simmons can become the next LeBron. Your answer is what? I like this answer a lot. David said no, he will be Ben Simmons. And we'll be asking who is the next Ben Simmons. I love that. Brett said like most great players, LeBron is a 1 out of 1. Ben's like a humongous Jason Kidd. I disagree with that. We haven't seen the Jason Kiddness yet. Tip, I like this one as well, 1 of 2. No, LeBron James is the king, the end. This really isn't hard. Ask this in 2032. I'm gonna find you, Tip. If Ben is 29, 9, and 9 on 58%, 44% for 3 at worst, his second, third best ever, and then I think he had a second one. So far gone to 8 finals, 7 straight, carries team, conference, NBA, best in league for greater than a decade. His play is similar, but LeBron is LeBron, case closed, and then he smacks himself in the face. My personal favorite is Tyler saying Prince.
Yeah.
Not a fan of that one. And then
you get this, right? Like, you don't agree?
What?
If LeBron is the king, he's the prince.
I wanted to go with like Purple Rain Prince.
Right.
So lastly, you guys weighing in, Jay Cinco said, Ben is a poor man's LeBron, which is not bad at all. The kid can ball, but he isn't the king, just like LeBron isn't MJ.
Jay Cinco has hit the nail.
Yeah?
On the head.
There were a few that hit the nail.
Because previous to that, of course, is to say, hey, is LeBron next MJ? Oh, MJ. They are two different guys. Again, the only comparison I think is the right comparison to make to Michael Jordan is Kobe Bryant. They played the same way. Yeah, Kobe's a little bit taller, barely, and just had a different kind of a slenderish type of build than MJ, but that style of play, man, it looked very similar. That's the type of thing. So when you start comparing LeBron to Michael Jordan, just because those are the two in our lifetimes where we're like, oh, greatest of all time here, greatest of all time here. That's the one line is the only thing that compares the two.
Right.
Their style and build and style of play just doesn't match up.
This is it's just a fun thing that we do as sports fans. That's all it is, and that's how we should all treat it, is as theater.
Yeah.
And I've said this many times, you can't compare one rap album to another rap album when one was in the 90s and the other was 2015. It's just different eras.
Yeah.
Like rap was so different along with basketball being so different. Like, are you gonna compare the ABA, or are you gonna compare when Bob Cousy played when there was no 3-point shot to the Golden State Warriors? Like, it's impossible. One thing that I just realized when you were going off about why we shouldn't compare is when J. Cole rapped about this in Sideline Story. It just came to my head. You never play me like LeBron versus Jordan. 20 years, wonder who they're gonna say was more important. Both changed the game, came through and made a lane. Who's to say that who's greater? All we know is they ain't the same. Fucking amen, on top of amen. But hey, we're comparing. So through 18 games, here's LeBron James and Ben Simmons. Through LeBron's first 18 games of his career, Ben Simmons through 18 games of his career. Sorry if it's a little stretched out, by the way. I'm bad at graphics. So Ben Simmons' field goal percentage, higher. The free throw attempts, about the same. The free throw percentage, horrible. His rebounds, higher. His assists are higher because he can't shoot as well, which I'll get into in just a moment. The turnovers are about the same. Ben's playing a little less minutes per game, but they're taking almost the same field goal percentage. Before we move forward, is there anything that sticks out to you when looking at these?
This is why I laughed when you said it. the free throw percentage, of course. How much of a drop off that is. But also LeBron isn't considered the greatest free throw shooter even now. Like it's not a guarantee when you see him go to the line that it's gonna happen. So I mean that's the thing also, and as we were mentioning right before we started this, Ben Simmons plays point guard, so your point guard's got to be a good free throw shooter.
Yes.
Now that has to change.
Doesn't always have to play point guard, of course, because they have TJ McConnell and a few others. But yes, he's coming along like Giannis, except way earlier.
Yeah, and it was again, it's different. It's different opponents, different eras, different guys they went up against. So it's hard. It's easy to compare and hard at the same time.
Here's another one that I like, and this is where they're shooting from on the court. This is LeBron in his career. This is Ben Simmons through the first 18 games.
Through his career.
I could not bring up exactly the first 18 games of shot distance, yada, yada. So obviously LeBron has improved greatly. This is Ben Simmons finishing at the rim to no surprise at all whatsoever. Because again, as I have said many times, look at the three-pointers.
Yeah.
He's not taking them because he can't make them. I think it's actually noble of him to not take them.
Right.
Because he knows his comfort zone. He knows where he succeeds and fails on the court, and he's not going to take his team out of a game.
So that's the thing. So depending on what style of system he's in from now until year 12, 15 of his career, then you wonder what type, again, is it a run and gun type of offense? Is it kind of offense where someone else is a shooter? Maybe a big time shooter comes in and doesn't even have to really focus on that part. Right. He ends up on a Golden State Warriors type of system. So who knows what's going to happen in his career where he doesn't need to be that guy that takes those shots. Maybe he doesn't develop it, and that just doesn't come in. Again, as I forget which Twitter user's tweet this was, but went through all the things that LeBron has had to do as far as carrying a team, going to this many championships, and then being the one who dishes the ball and scores and chooses when he's going to turn it on. He may not have to be that guy. He's playing with Joel Embiid.
Yeah, of course.
That's to me the focus of your
And Embiid
offense.
can shoot the three if he wants to. It's a drive and kick league. So like what I saw yesterday was on one play, drive and kick 4 times on one possession in a 24-second shot clock. By the time they brought it up past half court, it was probably at about 17. LeBron James, Channing Frye, Jayar Smith, and then LeBron James finally finding Jayar Smith on the baseline for a dunk. Right. The same thing has happened with Ben Simmons because he knows that he succeeds at the rim, so guys are going to start playing him a little bit tighter, as Jay Crowder did on the three-point line. And what did he do? Once he gets past, the double team comes over. That's when you hit a JJ Redick, a TJ McConnell, a Bob Covington, Chicago. Unfortunately, they didn't make any of those shots, but nonetheless.
And by the way, don't get me wrong. For Ben Simmons to really have a dynamic aspect to his game, of course, develop the three-point shot. You have to.
He will.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's year one. Yeah. Here's
Especially
the last
when
thing.
you're known to finish at the rim. Now they're worried about that, and you have that much more work.
So here's why this comparison is always going to be there. When they were coming out of high school, now remember, LeBron was 19 years old. Can you tell from that picture? 6'8", 240 pounds. And then, again, 19 years old. Ben Simmons, meanwhile, has a few more inches on him, 6'10", but also 240. The similarities are there. I completely understand. But what we need to do is start thinking about this in a little bit smarter fashion than just going off of body build and length. That's just my opinion. You agree?
And how it works? Yeah. It's possible. We've seen it with these type of size guys to do, or even bigger. Right. Obviously, to do this type of stuff. It's just a matter of developing and who you're going to work with and who brings that out of you.
Yes, very much so. So Brett Brown working with Ben Simmons, and of course, as we know, Tyronn Lue doesn't really have to work with LeBron James. I think he's there. Thoughts, comment section below. Subscribe to TYT Sports. We'll see you soon.